Hold on. Let me sit in this lottery again.
Cinnamon.
Oh, we got the 4th pick this time. I'll take that.
Yeah, 8, 8, 8, 8, 11.
Damn probabilities.
Number 1.
All right, there we go. Now we can start the show.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jerk off, put some shoes on.
That train is off the tracks.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... yeah, so just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You're listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is April 9th, 2023, and this is episode 644. Coming to you from the high school home of Jamison Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the Dr. Jason Triplett. This show, we're going to discuss a 1-2 week in Pacerland, including games against the Knicks, the Pistons, and the Knicks. Plus, we will make random guesses at who will win the first play-in games this week and predict the draft order, the lottery draft order, which Harper just informed us the Pacers will get the number 1 pick.
We won.
Joining me this week to discuss all of this are two of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles. It's John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? The Lord has risen. The Lord has risen indeed. Happy Easter, everybody.
Shout out Jeeves. And from Boise, Idaho, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What's going on, fellas? I'm shouting at the Dallas Mavericks. However mad you might get at our team, could always be worse.
Indeed. And sad shout out, we're missing our host Joey this week, who unfortunately said goodbye to his good friend and longtime companion Nibbler. Nibbler the cat has been on this program many a time. With his meows. He was a key participant in Cat or Baby most recently.
Oh.
I know Nibbler. I've known Nibbler since he was born, basically. I had a cat, actually, that was a sibling of Nibbler's that passed away several years ago, actually, and Nibbler has been hanging on, but took a bad turn this weekend, and had to say goodbye. So shout out to Joey, shout out to Catherine. Yeah, pour one out for Nibbler.
For sure. I feel bad for the Grafrida family right now. How old was Nibbler, you think? Like 19?
Close to, 19, around 19.
Yeah, because almost as long as I've known Joey is what I decided. Which isn't quite true. It was after I got back. It was probably 5 years after I met him, but still, a long time. Nibbler's been a part of the family for a long time. So,
for sure.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. All right. Well, before we start the show in earnest, just want to remind you folks that the show is brought to you by you. You can support us by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables and support the longest running Pacers podcast for as little as $1 a month. And there are higher tiers that get you access to Slack channels and uncut clip shows, all the things you want, maybe a koozie. It's probably worth it for a koozie, I would say.
Think. Who doesn't need a koozie?
Who does not need a koozie? All right. 3 games this week, boys. Wednesday, Pacers take on the New York Knickerbockers, and they lose in fine fashion, 138 to 129. Let's see. Bunch of guys in double figures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 guys in double figures. Jalen Smith leading the way with 19. And TJ McConnell chipped in 18 and 12 dimes off the bench. Doing his best to thwart our lottery odds. But to no avail, because the Knicks had Emmanuel Quickley and Quentin Grimes dropping 39, 36, and Obi Toppin 32. Not often you see 3 guys drop 30 plus in a game. Following that Friday, the Pacers, in their last home game of the season, host the Detroit Pistons and pull out a crucial loss in this one, 122 to 115. Pacers led by Buddy Hield off the bench with 22. Nembhard had 12 and 10. And a couple other guys in double figures there. For the Pistons, Jaden Ivey, 29. Killian Hayes, 28. And Jalen Duren a 10 and 10 with just a block. 4 steals for Killian Hayes as well. And then the last game of the season today, this afternoon, the Pacers travel to New York and take on the Knickerbockers. And for some reason put up, where's the box score? Hold on. For some reason put up 41 points in the fourth quarter to steal defeat from the jaws of victory. No, victory from the jaws of defeat.
Which was defeat from the jaws of victory, as it turned out.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's why I was all turned around. It's just
double negative.
Tanking gets in your head. Winning this game, 141 to 136. Led by Ben Mathurin, 26 points for him. Nembhard, 19 and 9 assists. And Jordan Nwora, 19 points for him as well. The Knicks didn't play a lot of their... Oh, no, they played some of their guys. Obi Toppin, 34. Quickly, 30. Mitchell Robinson, 20 rebounds. And 7 blocks.
Not enough.
Not enough. We needed him to double in the rebounds and blocks category. And I couldn't pull it through for us. Harbor, you caught the fourth quarter of this Knicks game. Can you encapsulate your feelings?
Anger. All anger. I don't understand what was happening here. We go into, we scored 27 points in the third. We go into the fourth down 6 points or something. And then just immediately go nuts on them. I'm like, what are these guys doing? George Hill is a veteran in this league. He's supposed to know better than to go out and start bombing threes on this team in the 11th hour when we're tied with Washington for seeding in the lottery. It was very upsetting to watch. The guys played entirely too well. There was nobody out there. The Knicks did not care about this game at all. They, you could call this. Sure, you want to win your last game of the year. I get it. You want to go out on a high note. Sure, whatever. But it's not like beating this Knicks team means anything. They weren't playing for anything. They didn't care. It's hard for me to draw even the moral victory of this W, given that the Knicks couldn't care less.
I blame this on George Hill and Nembhard. George Hill, I was watching this game and it was like, who's hitting threes? Stop it! And it was George Hill every time. I was like, stop it! Just go away, sit down. We brought you in to develop our team, not to destroy our draft lottery.
You're supposed to be a coach on the floor. And that means understanding, organizational goals.
Exactly. Also, Nembhard just refused to be denied. He was getting into the lane. He was doing a lot of stuff. Mathurin as well, but Matherin's wired like a psychopath, so I accept that. But I thought Nembhard was trying way too hard in this game. He's got 9 assists. I dislike how hard these guys played today.
Dude, even the refs didn't care. At about the 3-minute mark, they just threw their whistles into the crowd and effectively walked off the floor. There were guys beating each other with bottles on the court, and there were no whistles. It was wild. They just
Man, I wish I would have tuned in for this. This would have been great. Yeah, the irony here is probably that Rick Carlisle was like, McConnell's been playing really well lately. I'm not going to play him, and I'm going to put George Hill in.
Yeah. Well, and there's a couple of there is a great story about Gabe York. This is a guy who plays for us on the Mad Ants, and we brought him in last season at the very end of the season when we were tanking as well. Gave him some run in the NBA. He's been back on the Mad Ants all season and been our MVP. Been fantastic, and so we were able to bring him back again for these last 5 games, and allow to give him some run. And he's put up like 9-8 points a game. And his 7 points, I think, in this game probably were the difference. So it's a great story that Gabe York is a part of this team, but really wished he'd sat this one out.
Yeah, we need to be running like an all-center lineup or something. I don't know what we were doing.
No, just real quick, Gabe York, he's like 27. He's working really hard to get into the NBA, and I think it's really cool of the organization to shut down our main players at the end of the season when we're not going for anything, and reward a guy who's been playing really well for us in the G League. So shout out Gabe York, and I'm glad you scored some points.
Yeah, he had a really fun week.
He did have a really fun week. I think he only scored a basket last season for us, and this year he's got he got that one out of the way.
Yeah.
And now he could actually score points in the NBA. So, shout out.
Shout out indeed. Well, for the Pacers, as Harper mentioned, that put the Pacers in 11th position officially to end the season. Record-wise tied with the Washington Wizards. A mere game ahead of the Orlando Magic. Had we lost this game, we would have been tied with them. We'll get to what that means later in the show. The rest of the NBA is all done. The cool thing about the last day of the season is they play all the games in the afternoon, so by now we know all the seedings. So we'll run it down because the play-in games are going to start on Tuesday, and we'll be able to preview at least the first couple of them. So in the Eastern Conference, the Bucks end up in the top seed, followed by the Celtics and the Sixers, and then the Cavs, the Knicks, and the Nets. And so those 6 teams are in the playoffs. They're good to go.
Congratulations to the Nets for holding on.
Yeah,
no doubt,
playing well too.
Yeah, right.
Mikal Bridges, man.
Oh, he's loving life right now, man.
Yeah, he is.
What's his usage rate? 99%.
Whatever it is, it's working.
And then in the play-in games, which we'll get to the matchups in a minute, Miami is in the 7th seed, Atlanta 8th, Toronto 9th, and Chicago 10th, which has been pretty much the order it's been in for the last week or so. Over in the Western Conference, the Nuggets end up on top, Grizzlies 2nd, Kings 3rd, still sounds crazy.
It's weird.
Suns in 4th, Clippers 5th, Warriors 6th. The Lakers end up in the 7th spot. The T-Wolves, Pelicans, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And as Harper alluded to earlier, Dallas Mavericks just below the line there at 38 and 44, missing all of the
blow it
stuff.
up.
Blow it up.
Sell the team.
All right, so as a reminder to fans, casual fans, and hardcore fans, because it's hard to keep track of, the way the play-in works is so the 7th and 8th place teams play one another. The winner of that game goes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
That's a 7th seed.
And that becomes the 7th seed.
Correct.
The loser of that game will play the winner of the 9-10 game for the 8th seed. And so on
So the 8th
Tuesday,
seed can magically become the 7th seed.
Yes. And
Yes.
It makes
the
perfect
The
sense.
10th seed could become the 8th seed.
Yes.
Right. But the 10th seed can't become the 7th seed.
No, not possible.
Okay.
The 7th seed could also become the 8th seed.
True.
Oh, that's getting deep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My mind just broke a little bit.
All right, so Tuesday
Thanks, AT&T.
will be the 7-8 games. So the Eastern Conference game will be the Hawks at the Heat, and the Western Conference game will be the T-Wolves at the Lakers. Let's tackle those two first before we move on. Colson, you seem very excited about the Lakers, as you always are.
Huge Lakers fan.
Oh,
Huge Lakers guy.
Leads
They have
purple and yellow.
Yeah, purple and gold, yeah.
they have the best record since the All-Star break. Are they positioning themselves for a deep playoff run here?
Well, I like the fact that they have 2 chances to lose and still... Well, no, they have 2 chances, right? Because I'm not sure that this Timberwolves matchup is great for them. I think the Wolves have been playing well right now. I don't think they really have anybody to guard Anthony Edwards. I think they're big and poundy, which is where Anthony Davis does well. Do I think they can beat the Wolves and get the 7th seed? Sure. But just in case, if they lose this, I still think they win the next round and they get into the playoffs. I think they need 2 chances on this one.
So you're picking the Timberwolves?
I think I am, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I love that you picked the Timberwolves. I would love to pick the Timberwolves, but I'm going to pick the Lakers.
Okay. They get the 7th.
Yeah, after missing the cut last year, I think LeBron is very keen to not leave anything to chance here. He is still one of the top 2 players of all time, and I think that when he brings his will to bear and has a healthy Anthony Davis, brilliant things can happen.
For sure. And he understands the value of rest, right? So if they win this game on Tuesday, then they get a break until probably Saturday or Sunday,
yeah.
whatever, right? So as opposed to playing again on Thursday and then having to roll straight into a series.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, he's playing chess while the rest of us playing checkers, right? Does he want to play the Nuggets or the Memphis Grizzlies? Like, what's the better matchup for the Lakers? Because he can kind of pick that at this point if he's putting his will on the game.
It's a little risky, right? I mean, I feel like maybe in his younger days, but he also knows that he plays with Anthony Davis, so there's a strong possibility that Anthony Davis goes down with an injury in the next week.
You have to minimize the number of games
That
that
could
Anthony
happen.
Davis plays at
Exactly.
all costs.
Yes.
All right, so go for the win here.
Yeah.
Get the rest. Get the Grizzlies, and take out the youth.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies are hot, but they're also they're not the Golden State Warriors in terms of playoff experience.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And I don't think matchup wise, the Lakers are particularly better against one or the other.
It doesn't really seem like.
All right, on the Eastern Conference side, Hawks, Heat. Who you got, Harper?
I think no one on this show is prepared to pick Atlanta to do anything in this game.
That is correct.
Hawks are trash.
Hawks are trash right now. I will take Miami, please.
Yep. Miami all
Agreed.
the way.
Agreed. Yep. And if they win that game, then we get a juicy Heat Celtics series again, which, if you'll remember last year, that series went to 7, and a Jimmy Butler missed 3 at the end, basically, was the difference.
So much rock fights.
Yeah, and jail time, right? I think on some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For sure. All right. So then on Wednesday will be the 9-10 games. Eastern Conference out would be Bulls at Raptors. and Western Conference Thunder at Pellies. Anybody taking the Bulls, or are we just off that bandwagon?
No.
I talked to Chairman this week. Chairman asked me, in all seriousness, if I was cheering for the Bulls now because the Pacers were out in the playoffs. I couldn't believe it.
Did you spit your beer?
Pretty much, yeah. I think I threw something.
Through something.
All right, so we're all in the Raptors.
Yeah,
train,
no, the
right?
Raptors are competent, and the Bulls aren't. So I think the Raptors win this one.
All right, and we're not worried about the combination of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan being super closers in tight games.
I mean, they could absolutely each blow up for 30 in this thing, and pull the wheels right off Toronto's freaking cart. I mean, Toronto's just not that good.
No, they're not. They're great defensively. They just can't score.
They're
I figured
they're good
they could
defensively.
I feel like they could stop the Bulls.
Boston
I
is
feel like.
great defensively. They are
and
good
so is
defensively.
Milwaukee. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They're good defensively.
They're good.
They're very long.
Yeah.
No, you're right. There's no way that there's no world in which we can just dismiss the Bulls. They're very capable. I'm just gonna do it, but
Yeah, and it's hilarious to me that they're just all in and they're just can't make a plan. Barely make the plan.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then, do you see either of those teams, should they advance, beating the Hawks to get into the actual dance?
Oh yeah, the Hawks are trash.
Okay.
I think
Hawks are
whoever,
trash.
if the Bulls or the Raptors win, they're beating the Hawks.
Okay, so the winner of the Bulls-Raptors game becomes the 8th.
Yep, that's what I'm calling. Yep.
Okay.
They didn't get a new Nate. That's all I know.
Nope.
When they fired Nate, they didn't get a new Nate.
That's the downfall of every franchise. Wait. Okay.
Check the
Atlanta
math.
might be able to beat Chicago.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, so here's the thing.
none
with
of
the
these
Hawks,
teams
right?
are
Like,
getting out of the first round.
No, but hear me out here, right? So the Hawks, basically for the last month and a half, no, more than that, have been 500.
Yep.
So they've been
Right,
no
yeah.
further than one game away from 500. So they win a game, lose a game,
Win a game,
win a
lose
game,
a-
lose a game, win a game, lose a game.
Was that our
So if they lose
2016
the Miami
season where
game,
we did that
They
for like
have
20
to.
years?
they are going to win the next
You're
game.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
So they're
that's
going to
the
get the 8th seed. Yep. All right. You're right. That's if they continue the pattern. All right. They got the 8th seed. You're right.
And then they get demolished by the Bucks. Would be amazing.
So you heard it here first. I mean, because actually, this is one of the few times we'll be first. Atlanta's going to be the 8th seed and get demolished by the Bucks.
Yep.
All right. I like it. This is solid reasoning.
Thank you.
Unassailable maths.
That's right. In the Western Conference, the evening game on Wednesday will be the Oklahoma City Thunder at the New Orleans Pelicans. This is like the game of the play-in, I would say, right? Like, both of these teams are super fun to watch. Very talented, kind of scrappy. You know, they've been pulling out games left and right down the stretch to get into the. Both these teams have been fighting hard, I guess, to get into the play-in tournament, I guess you call it. So I am super hyped for this. You know, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's first foray into the playoffs, I believe, unless he made it 1 year with the Clippers before he got traded. I don't quite remember. And the Pellies, of course, were in this position last year, won 2 games and got into the big dance and then made a bunch of noise against the Suns. So, Harper, you got any thoughts on Thunder Pellies?
I agree with you. It's going to be a really fun one. I'm going to take the Pellies in this one. Likely no Zion in this one, but they've just been super hot coming down the stretch. 7-3 in their last 10 have looked really good.
Yeah, CJ McConnell looks like he is dialed in completely.
Yeah, Ingram's out there doing bonker stuff too.
Yep.
They got it going right now.
Yeah, no, I love this Pellies team. I wish Zion was healthy, so that they could actually be a force in the West. But I love the makeup of this team. I love the city. But I'm gonna pick the Thunder here. I think SGA goes bananas and drags his team to a win here.
I think SGA will have a fantastic game. I worry about all the other guys on the Thunder.
They have no experience
roster. They have no experience in big games.
And at least the Pellies were in the playoffs last year.
If this game were in OKC, I might give them an edge because that crowd is pretty awesome and they'll feel more comfortable. But I think the Pellies are just a bit more seasoned. CJ McConnell's not gonna, or McCollum is not gonna F around with this. Do you see if either the Thunder or the Pellies win this, do we see them beating who did we have losing that other game?
So we got Lakers,
the T-Wolves or the Lakers to get into the dance.
Unfortunately, I do not. I think that the Lakers and the Timberwolves end up 7-8.
Yeah, I think they're better than both these teams as well. Well, at least the way that the Timberwolves have been playing the last few weeks.
Yeah,
and again,
right. But if you'd asked me a month ago, I might have said the Pellies because I just like this team. But yeah, Timberwolves have kind of gotten their acts together, and I think they're probably the 7-8.
And it's possible that they'll release Zion to play in that game, I suppose. But
they're saying
it.
They're saying it's saying not likely.
Well, that's like the conspiracy theory, right? Is that the statement that the Pellies made, it was vague enough that it opened the door for potential return. It wasn't like he's definitely out for 3 more weeks or whatever. It was he's ramping up. He's doing things.
Yes, ESPN I think said definitely he's out on the first game.
Okay.
That's what I just saw before I started this show. So
okay, cool. Look at that late breaking news.
Woohoo! You heard it here last.
I think the Pellies could beat the T-Wolves if they get past the Thunder. I think the Thunder have no chance of pulling off 2 in a row, but I think the Pellies could, and they would make life interesting for the Nuggets.
Okay, so you're calling a Pellies upset.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but it's in the realm of possibility. It's not as if it's a foregone conclusion that any team with Rudy Gobert on it, I don't know that I can trust them in a playoff situation. And we saw the T-Wolves last year look like, just killers in the first play-in game and then just fall completely flat in the second game, right? That was the game where Karl Anthony Towns looked like he forgot how to play basketball.
Well, I thought that was the whole first round last year, didn't they?
Oh no, that was the whole first round.
You're right. Yeah. They got in by looking like juggernauts, and then their whole first round he forgot how to play basketball. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's what
Anthony Edwards
shrunk from the moment,
though.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards.
This is true.
Yeah. Now
Conley's decent. A good coach though can isolate and cause Gobert is one of those guys that you can scheme against and really expose some things.
I think Conley makes the difference though. I think you've got the veteran leadership there. I think Lakers and T-Wolves get in. Although, fun fact, I think that every year they've done this, that at least one of the 9 seeds in one conference has gotten into the playoffs. So the 9th seed is the sweet spot. So it could be
bodes well for Toronto.
Yeah, let's go with Toronto because I'm with you. I think they've got enough veterans on LA and the Timberwolves. I think they're going to be the 7-8.
All right, one more item, which will be the topic of conversation for Pacer fans. I think between now and mid-May is where we ended up falling in the lottery ladder, as it were. So, by my calculation, Detroit ended up with the worst record. So it went Detroit, San Antonio, Houston. Those teams all have a 14% shot at the number 1 overall pick. Charlotte ended up 4th. They have a 12.5% chance. Portland, with just a miraculous run down the stretch, shutting down Dame and really pushing all their chips in to the Wembanyama sweepstakes. They end up 5th. They got a 10.5% chance. Orlando ends up 6th. The Pacers actually end up tied for 7th with Washington, and below them is Utah, and then Dallas, and then all those play-in teams that I think will get sorted out based on the play-in, or I forget how that works.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, Pacers tied with Washington. Harper, I think we figured out how this works, but maybe you could give a stab at understanding how the lottery balls get split up here, since we have a tied record.
So, it's my understanding that essentially you take the odds of the two tied teams, split them in half, and then flip a coin for anything odd, any oddballs, as it were, left over. So Orlando, with their 9%, the seed below that is 6.8% for the overall number one. So by adding those up, that would have given you 15.8 over 2, so 7.9. And we are currently going to be at right around 6.7, depending on how the coin flip goes. What I don't know is how it works. So essentially from the 8 spot, you can get the 1 through 4 or the 8 through 12, right? So you have this donut hole between 5 and 7. So I don't know how the odds work there.
Well, okay. So, first of all, yeah, as you said that by moving from the 6th spot to the 8th spot, we lost whatever you did. You did the math.
Well, we went from tied 6 to tied 7, right?
Tied 7, right? And so we lost like a percentage and a half, whatever. But the basically what happens is everybody in the top 14, in the lottery, have a chance at that top 3. Or no, I'm sorry. I think it's the top 4.
It's top 4.
Yeah, top 4. And so once those 4 are decided, everything else goes based on where you are in your record. So the idea, I think, is that if we are the 8th seed right now, you can only land in the top 4. You can't land 5, 6, 7. You're either in the top 4 or you're at 8, and you're moved back by other teams that moved up ahead of you. Yeah. So like if 11 or 10 goes into the top 4, we'd move back a spot.
Okay,
so
but how do they do the seeding on a tie then?
Well, that's splitting your percentages for the ping pong ball drawing.
And then it goes to, you're saying, ordinal, right, based on record, but what if there's a tie?
Right.
Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Let's say that's where the coin flip comes in.
Random drawing decides who picks first between teams with the same record. So it's a random drawing. So it's a coin flip.
Yay.
Very scientific.
Yeah. So Tankathon.com currently has us is the 4th power ranking in the draft, with the 8th pick, the 26th, the 29th, the 32nd, and the 55th pick. We were just percentage points behind Houston, that has the 3 and the 19, and they consider them the 3rd in the power rankings. Charlotte's running away with this thing with the current 4th pick, 27th pick, 34th pick, 39th, and 42nd pick. But again, lottery balls, they get kicked out of that top 3 or top 4, and we get in there. There's still a chance, Pacer Nation.
Yep. So clear your calendars for Tuesday, May 16th. That's when the next decisive thing for Pacers franchise is going to happen. Probably.
Also, clear your calendars for tomorrow because that's when the Indiana Fever draft their number 1 overall pick. It's the first time in franchise history that the Indiana Fever have had the number 1 overall pick.
Nice.
And that happens tomorrow. So, shout out. They have the 1 and the 7. Not bad.
So, are they able to draft Caitlin Clark and
No.
just stash her? And...
No.
It's going to be a Leah Boston in every mock draft I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the clear number 1. So, we're getting Aaliyah Boston.
That sounds good.
Yeah. From South Carolina.
And she's like super duper good. So.
Yeah. And she will help us because we're not very good.
No.
Also, fun fact, Tamika Catchings was the 3rd pick because she, blown out her ACL or something, and she had to lose her entire rookie season. That was worth the wait for the 3rd pick on that.
Totes.
Good, solid franchise decision on that, Fever.
And whoever passed her up.
Right, who didn't want to wait a year.
Sorry for your job loss. All right. Well, we're going to come back on Thursday and hit you with some playoff predictions.
It's gonna get heated
For what we know
it's gonna get
thus far.
We don't have to do Quaker style. We get in fist fights in this one.
Yeah. Drama. It's great. Until then, thank you for listening. You can keep in touch with us on Twitter. We are at Undebeatables. We are on Facebook.com/The Undebeatables. You can email us, shoutout@theundebeatables.com. On our website, theundebeatables.com, there's a contact form that you could send us a message that way. And while you're over there, you could buy yourself a t-shirt.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sickleonard. Turn out the lights, the party is over.
Wow. That was impressive.
Sometimes you get this.
Did you get a hold of some good painkillers?
Well, no, you get the spirit of Slick sometimes. He just comes to you,
see.
you know?
Yeah.
He just grabs you and shakes you. Makes you sing it right.
That's awesome. And then do you go have a couple whiskeys after that or something?
Yeah, no, yeah. What did he do? He'd probably drink a PBR and smoke a pack of Marlboro Reds.
Sure.
I don't know what he did.
That seems right.
Shout out Slick.
Shout out.
Out.
Ugh.